Who are the coolest dudes on the planet?
United States veterans.
What's the coolest sport on the planet?
Pro wrestling.
And what would be the coolest podcast on the planet? That would be this one.
U.S. military vets talking pro wrestling.
This is the No Shave Man Cave. Two badass disabled vets sharing their love of pro wrestling, giving you their perspective as fans, talking about current events and matches, history of titles, and who knows what else. Let's do it.
Welcome to the No Shave Men Cave. Now your hosts, Ellie Jair and Jay Tilley.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, wrestling fans and sports entertainment fans, welcome to the No Shave Man Cave. I'm Ellie Jair.
I am Jay Tilley.
Man, it seems like whenever we get together, it's either thundering, get it, Thunder Rosa thundering, or just some good, fun, professional wrestling going on. Yeah, man. So I'm super pumped about the state of wrestling, and just like AEW's got a lot of really good stuff going on. Hopefully they can continue to build the brand and continue to make them bigger and bigger and bigger. And it's not just the same 900,000, because they're there. They're buying the tickets for Wembley. They're showing up at Collision, and Collision's starting to grow a lot better. And I love the feel of Collision too, man. And it's good stuff.
Yeah, I agree. Collision's a lot of fun. And I think we talked about it, one of the times we've podcasted. That's another thing. Every time we get together, we're like, all right, we're back on our schedule. And then life happens and we're not. But we are legit. We're adjusting sometimes. So those that listen, we are going to start going live at 6 p.m. Eastern on Tuesdays and Thursdays instead of 7. We are going to stick with the Fantasy Sports Court at that time slot, 7 to 8. Yeah, 7 to 8. We're going to stick with them at that time just because that's where they've got us booked in. But our show, we're going to slide earlier an hour just because work schedules have changed, and poor Ellie J there now needs to be at work at like 3 a.m. in the morning or something ridiculous. So, but we're back to it, and we will start getting more steady. We have to, because there are other things in the works behind the scenes. You kind of made
believe, man.
Oh, man, it's nuts. You made a joke about the Thunder thing, but for those curious, yes, we were on Thunder Rosa's show. We were the first guests ever on her show, which is pretty damn cool. Had a blast, a lot of good chemistry. I thought we all did really well. Amy's response was, man, did Jared work all day? He looks really tired. I'm like, yeah, he did. And like, I reached out to like Tony, and I was like, hey, Tony, like, sorry, like our energy was a little low. He's like, what? You guys are awesome. I'm like, whew, wait till you see us when we're on.
Just wait, dude. See us on Saturday. Woo!
Yeah, because I played it for Amy to watch, and she's like, Jared doesn't have the sparkle in his eye. She's like, he looks like he's had a rough day, and I was like, yeah. I said it was his first day at the UTR thing, plus it was Tiff's first treatment. I'm like, so it was a rough day for him, but we made it work and got pretty good praise to the point that maybe we'll be a regular guest. We'll see. Hope so. Knock on wood.
Yeah, and awesome. I'm glad you extended the invite to Tony and Thunder for our 22nd show, or at least Tony. And just, it was so much fun. Kudos to what they've got going on over there. And JT, knocking down walls and getting us on there. I really appreciate it, brother. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that was a good time. And I was just going to say, Tony is going to join us for the 22nd. He will not be able to do August with us because he's going to the big show over in England. So he's going with Thunder, and he was telling me that he's going to be able to like see the stadium and everything before they set it up and all. I'm like,
that's so cool. Good for him, man.
I'm so
good
jealous.
For AEW. 75,000 seats.
I think it's like 77 now.
Oh, wow. There we go.
Yeah, I think the latest numbers were like 76,985 or something ridiculous. I mean, and they haven't announced a match yet, which is insane. However, that'll lead us right into what I wanted to kind of hit you with right now is some of the rumored matches, or one of the rumored matches I think came out today from Fightful. Shout out to Sean Ross Sapp and that crew over there at Fightful. But apparently one of the matches, headline matches, they're not headline, I guess, but one of the marquee matches, Chris Jericho and Will Osprey. I see the shock in your face.
Dude. Like,
Yeah.
wow. Are you like hearing the words?
Yep.
And you're like, I didn't know I wanted to see that match.
Yeah.
That is, dude.
Yep. Fightful
Wow.
dropped that today.
Is,
Apparently, obviously Will Osprey home country, they're going to have him there, which we all kind of assumed. I assumed it was going to be to work Kenny for the rubber match.
right.
But yeah, the news broke today that they're looking at Chris Jericho. So then that just opens up so many other things, like what is going to go on with the Don Callis family? Is this going to be? I'm just curious. I'm curious where the story's going to take it. Wow. Is Don Callis going to be on Jericho's side, or are we going to see Jericho face run? And maybe we're going to get, instead of the Elite versus Don Callis family right now, we're going to get Don Callis family versus the JAS. I'm curious how that's going to go.
Oh man, this is such
stuff.
That's such an awesome problem to have, and the creative angle of that to free up, and not in a bad way, but to free Kenny up. You have Will Osprey talking some talk about what he wants to do with that United States title, and greatest looking title in all of professional wrestling, by the way. He wants to take the belt off the title, and he wants to he wants to take the flag off the title, and he thinks it's dumb that that's the United States title, that it should be the Intercontinental title. So who knows what's going to happen with that. So that's going to be a great thing. And Will Osprey hates Canada. Oh!
Yep.
Oh! The money to be made with this, Will Osprey arguably, right up there with Omega and that 5-star match machine with a grizzled veteran like Jericho. Man, what a great problem to have. And, I've heard talks of, proposed matches with Statlander against a couple of different wrestlers. Taya Valkyrie looks like she's starting to pick up momentum. And then, the booking last night, she went down to DMD. So to really see what's going on, and hopefully Hader is doing okay. So just the different matches in the card, the way the card can come together, especially if they're going to involve as much British talent as I think they will, and if they're going to do some kind of collusion with New Japan, man, it's going to be like a Forbidden Door 2.5 or something like that. So that's so exciting.
I kind of hope they don't, right? Like, I don't want it to be a Forbidden Door-esque thing. I'd rather them set up matches like, Saraya versus Statlander, right? That would be a good one. Set up the returning Hader and Tony Storm. Maybe pull in, I just think, I don't want to see it become I'm okay with Will Ospreay because he's kind of tied into AEW anyway.
Yeah.
You've got the Don Callis tie-in, and I'm okay with that. So, but yeah, I just don't want to see it become Forbidden Door 2 because I don't think that's fair to the British fans. I don't think that's what they want to see. They want to see their AEW fans or their AEW favorites. I do think you'll see a lot of tag matches, 6-man matches, probably a battle royal in there somewhere or something to that effect, which is fine. What I am curious about, though, is they're doing, rumor has it, All In, and then the next weekend they're doing All Out. So are we going to get kind of a split roster pay-per-view? Is this something new Tony Khan's going to do where maybe Dynamite has their pay-per-view and Collision has theirs? I'm kind of curious where that's going to go.
Wow, that's an interesting twist. I wouldn't have ever even thought that would be a consideration. But now that you're saying it out loud, that would give them an opportunity to maybe split the ROH roster to 50-50, giving them a little more face time. And yeah, that's the FTR guys. Are they going to come out the victors against
better than you,
MJF?
baby?
Yeah, that's going to be, man, when that music played and he was jumping around and he just walks out like this, I thought that was funny shit. Those two together, that's
great.
That's freaking funny.
It's so good. And yeah, it's just so much fun. And I think that's the key, right? It's fun. It's not, and just all the credit to MJF because he did the same thing with Sammy Guevara, where they just had fun. But it's so much fun that I'm like, I don't want this to end. I want them to, I actually want them to win the damn belts. Like, I want them to carry on for a while. And even like the things that happened on Dynamite where MJF looks at Cole and they do their segment and MJF tells Cole like, hey, no matter what, because you're my friend, I'm going to give you a rematch down the road. Talk about throwing a wrench into what we all thought was going to happen. He just flat out said, yeah, I'll give you a rematch. Like, you deserve one. You're my buddy. What? And then, Roderick Strong coming in and attacking. And it took some twists I didn't see coming. So,
yeah,
very, very interesting, that turn going. And then back to
when they hit the double clothesline in the restaurant.
Oh my gosh. The pop was crazy.
That looks just like Sammy Guevara. And they just hit each other like, what? No, that's
and then when they hit it in the match, the pop was just like insane for a double clothesline.
And so we were talking both on our mental health show and when we were with Thunder and Tony, and we were talking about the connection with the fans. We were dabbling in mental health and how we, sometimes we just want to get away. We need to, decompress, whatever. And this suspended belief and, just the creative with AEW, slowly you're sitting there going, I thought I hated MJF, but now he's, you're like, because when, face or heel, Adam Cole will have a following like no one else. And it's just bizarre because he's not jacked. He's not 6'5". He's not, it's so bizarre. And he's got it. And man, so that from the entrance to the move set, and then you get MJF who, he's the devil. He goes away. He holds the title now. And it's like, yeah, it's just strange, man. Like, oh yeah, this is a really, really good problem with professional wrestling right now.
Yeah. Whew. Yeah, absolutely. And then, I thought of something when you were talking about Will Osprey last segment, and it just made me think of it again. You talked about how he wants to take the U.S. part out of it and make it the international or intercontinental title. And I was thinking about Orange Cassidy, and I didn't realize until last night when they said it that he's the most successful champion they've had. He has more title defenses for that championship than any other person in AEW so far.
Wow.
Talk about making that a workhorse championship. And his match with AR Fox was great. Didn't see the AR Fox heel turn coming, though. Spoilers for anybody that hadn't seen it, but if you're listening to the podcast, we're talking wrestling. So,
right. But
yeah, I didn't see that swerve at the end. No pun intended. Didn't see the swerve at the end of the swerve match.
There we go.
Coming because, I guess maybe I kind of somewhat predicted it. Like, I could kind of see it in the thing, but they did this whole really good video package about Darby Allin talking about how much he respects AR Fox and he gave him a place to live and all this stuff. And then that happened. I was like, oh, that was pretty effective. That was a good turn. I appreciated that. So we're obviously setting up a little tag match or four-way feud with Nick Wayne and Darby and Swerve and AR Fox, and completely makes sense since they all four train together. Way to get the 18-year-old who probably a little uncomfortable. Yes, we've seen what he can do in the independents, but it's different from, no offense to bingo halls, but the bingo hall with 50 people, maybe 100, to Wimbledon, 90,000 people, like he's... Yeah. So I think it's a really smart move on Tony Khan's booking plate to go, all right, well, I know you're really comfortable with Darby Allin. I know you're comfortable with AR Fox. I know you're comfortable with Swerve. Let's put them in a program together so, one, they build him up and can help him improve and get over the jitters. Darby can talk for him. You could throw Sting in there. Sting can show up and be a part of it too. So, yeah, extremely interesting. Just genius. Like, that's a great way to build up this really young talent who, like I said, did independence and probably hasn't been in more than 1,000 people. And surprise!
Hey, by the way, there's more people in the gorilla position than he's wrestled in front of, so it's it's going to be bonkers. And I like the thread that you just told. You forget about the connection between Darby, Swerve, Wayne, and then AR Fox, and all of a sudden you're like, wait a minute. So AR Fox turns on Orange Cassidy, or turns on, becomes a heel.
Yeah.
Darby Allin stuck up for him and then come back around, and Swerve ends up defeating Darby Allin when Darby Allin is now the number one contender for the TNT title. So now you're just like, you're about to elevate Wayne. You just put Swerve to the, upper end of the card, maybe not on the top of the card, but he's right there. and he's
And you
awesome.
just elevated AR Fox.
Yep.
So yeah, it's got the potential to be, and especially if Darby wins.
Right.
So now you got all four of them in a program that involves the TNT Championship, which would be all right too. So good stuff going on for sure.
Yeah,
and
that's phenomenal.
The part I guess I'll let it play out and I'll see how it goes. But what I didn't so AR Fox gets mad, drops Orange Cassidy, then Moxley comes out and drops Orange Cassidy, and I'm all right, like you super punch my friend, whatever. I don't know how I feel about this three-way feud with Pac and the Lucha Brothers, the Best Friends, Orange Cassidy, BCC. I think I see where it's going to go. I imagine we're going to get a three-way or nine-man match, I guess. Three-way triple threat match, maybe for Wimbledon. So now you've got three of your biggest teams together. I could see that being the way to go to it, but it's just very weird feeling.
Yeah. I mean,
I would rather see Cassidy go and defend his title over there, personally.
That's what I was going to say. Like, I'd rather see Cassidy defend the title, not against Moxley.
Ooh, that would be good, though.
I know. And I was just like, not against Moxley. He's been the world champ a couple of times. I really like this workhorse title, the pseudo collision title, until they decide what they're going to do with CM Punk's belt. And, you've got the mic work and the back and forth with Stark. And now that he's won the Owen Cup and he carries the title around like it's going to mean something, I'd like to see that part play out. And does Mox and the BCC need to be near a title to be relevant? And I would say no. Does it make the title more if Mox is carrying it? Well, obviously. But yeah, that's a tough one, and then you're going to have whatever the fallout is going to be for the ROH title. So this is there's a lot of gold that can be on the card, and I would above or below of the 12 titles between AEW and ROH. Probably 50% of those titles will change hands. Athena could end up losing the title. They were talking that she wanted to go against Statlander. I wouldn't necessarily want two titles in one match, just because I like when titles change hands, but that would be a great match too. So man,
that brings up another interesting
so much.
Yeah, and it brings up another interesting thought process or quandary is with the All In All Out. Are they putting all the titles on All In? Are they going to do some on All In and All Out? I'm just curious. I'm very curious to see how they're going to build two different pay-per-views. Who's going to main event each one? And now that the rumor is Osprey and Jericho, who's Kenny Omega going to fight? Are you going to put CM Punk on the All In card? If not, that's kind of crappy for the British fans because they didn't want to see him too. So Tony Khan's good, and he makes some issues book women better, but. I think he's also extremely good at what he does a lot of times. So I'm just going to have to let it play out. I'm very curious. I think we saw a Dynamite this week that is past Blood and Guts, past Forbidden Door, and is starting to show the hand a little bit. I don't see it yet. The Elite weren't even on there last night. So
that's a good point.
Yeah, so they're obviously starting to build for it. And obviously you can see one of their programs is probably going to be Death Triangle, Best Friends, and BC. Some really good matches can come out of that. Pac versus Moxley will be great. Claudio versus Orange Cassidy. Penta versus Yuta. I mean, there's some really good matches that can come out of that 9-man combo. But what I don't want is Orange Cassidy to kind of get his title to be set aside. He's been doing so good at defending to where he's, like I just said, he's defended more than any other. Like, don't put that aside. Like, let's keep using that, right?
That's like the newest title too, which is fantastic. Meaning, you're having a champion hold on to a title. Well, I like title. You just said you like when titles change hands, right? But if a man is making a title or a title is making a man or both, keep that slow burn going. And, for a little while, I thought it was going to be Luchasaurus that was going to take the title. And then I thought maybe they would have an international wrestler come in. And then, I sort of had a pipe dream that Nick Aldis would come in over to AEW, but I think he could work in WWE. Totally up to him what he wants to do. He's done with Impact. He's considered a free agent. I think he's got some international dates in Australia or something coming up, and then we'll see what he's going to do. But yeah, dude, I didn't even think of that aspect of it. You want to see that those trios do work together, but I totally agree. I love seeing that international title defended. I love the ring work that Orange Cassidy's doing and the selling. And every week he shows up with more tape and the kinesiology tape and stuff. So that's a must. We got to see that. And wow, yeah.
And I love how on the show last night I think it was either Excalibur or hell, it might have been Tony. I don't remember who it was, but they're like, if you notice, he's got his back taped up, and that's from Kyle Fletcher, and he's got his shoulder tape up, and they like went through his injuries and who caused them. I was like, all right, that was pretty good. Like way to like put over the fact that, hey, this guy keeps getting his butt kicked, and his hands taped up because of this. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. So,
but he keeps coming out the victor.
Yeah, and he still came out the victor. Like I said, workhorse, man. He's putting in those title defenses.
Hey, that's amazing.
Yeah, I can't. So this Don Callis, Chris Jericho thing, like I said, with the announcement of Will Osprey potentially, which Sean Ross Sapp is usually pretty good at these. It does lead me down. Okay, what's going to go on with this? Like, is it because I thought they were going to bring Osprey in to be part of the Don Callis family? Because you would think he would be the one that would want to come in and fight Omega more. So curious where that's going to go. Right. And like I said, with the Elite not on last night, it was interesting. Yeah. Are we going to see Jericho say no and stick with the JAS, and maybe we're setting up JAS versus Don Callis, and then we'll do the Elite stuff down the road? I don't know. It'll be interesting. I still want to see Punk versus Omega personally.
Wow. Have you been watching the clips of, I think it was on YouTube, and I don't think it was Being Elite, it was one of the shows, and they showed Omega after the Blood and Guts match? Dude, it looked like he rolled over one of those strips that the police roll out, so it blows your tires. His back jacked. I was like, dude, yeah, you are a beast. I hope you get a couple days off because that's crazy.
Yeah, which is probably why they weren't on the show. Moxley doesn't care; he's going to show up. But yeah, and then on Being the Elite, they showed he was picking the tacks out of. Oh my gosh, I keep wanting to say Shibata, but that's because I got Shibata on the mind because I want to see him in a match at Wimbledon. But he was picking the tacks out of Ibushi's back, and I was like, oh. And he's like pulling them out, and you can see him like sticking, and he's like tink tink. I'm like, oh. But yeah, they showed his back on that too, and I'm like, oh gosh, like bed of nails or not, that sucked. That was not fun. I don't care who you are.
Yeah, that was rough. So nice job in Blood and Guts. That was fantastic match. I'm still thrown off by the finish. I'm sure that'll play out. Coming forward. And we talk about what's going to happen with Jericho. Is he going to join Don Callis? Is he going to go back to the JAS? Is it somewhere in between? I think he's going to do something in between, but I don't know what version we're going to see because I don't think we're going to see the Y2J with the blinking jacket. I don't, but yeah, I'm excited to see him work with Osprey, get Osprey a huge win, and that's going to do something for the United States title if he's defending the title. If it's a non-title match and they're just gonna run it, that's going to be a phenomenal match. And I don't know if Osprey would join the Don Callis family because Don Callis is Canadian, so that's true. That could play into it too. So you just got me thinking: are we going to see Jade Cargill come back, or is she going to stay away for a little while longer? She made a comment it's probably a month now or so that she said, I'm not going to be back for a while. So she's going to come back. I would think she's going to be repackaged, probably a baby face.
Yep.
And I mean, just the world is her oyster. Now that she's not the TBS champion, there's so much that she can do. And if it turns out that Taya Valkyrie ends up winning the title next, that would be a good program. Or Taya doesn't win the title and she still goes into a program with Cargill. Because I think had they let that breathe a little bit, I think that would be an awesome program. But I just keep thinking about the different combinations between the Elite, the BCC. What are you going to do with like Brian Cage and the Embassy? The Moguls. You've got Aussie Open who signed with AEW. They're both healthy, doing great stuff. So now
Ring of Honor tag champs. Yep.
That's just awesome. So are they? Yeah, you've got a lot to prognosticate, man. It's it's going to be a good problem.
Yeah, there's a lot going on in the AEW world for sure. And then you said Cargill and Ty. So I caught a line, and it could have been a throwaway line, but it's AEW. I never think they are. But Ty said something after she beat Sky Blue. I did it. You do it all the time, and I just did it. After she beat Sky Blue about, look, I just beat one of your homegrowns. And I was like, uh-oh, is she going to join the Outcasts? Because that would be good. Because then you do set up Jade Cargill, who's a homegrown, to come back as a baby face and team with Hayter and DMD and all them. Yep. So it made me go, oh, okay, that would work. I could see her as a heel hanging out with them, and just beating the hell out of people. So it'll be interesting for sure.
And once that program's done, you get the DMD turn, or do they not turn? And does Adam Cole turn on MJF? Does MJF turn on Adam Cole? Does Adam Cole and DMD, do they both have to be faces? Do they have to both be heels? So that could be an interesting story. That could turn into a faction of some sort when Roderick Strong finally goes, see, I told you. And now there's some kind of version of what they were in NXT. But yeah, and you just keep talking about CM Punk, and he looked like he was having fun last time he was in the ring. And, him taking an L to Stark, I think, is a lot more significant than just a win or a loss. It furthers a story. It elevates Stark. And
2 L's to him. He lost to him in the the 6-man too on this past Saturday. So technically 2 L's.
I thought that was huge that he let it go down like that, and he was okay with the booking. So I should shut my mouth about what I was saying about CM Punk before. He's not. And he doesn't seem like he's there for himself. He's there for the boys and girls. Yep. And, I'm happy for him. I'm happy for wrestling fans, too, having CM Punk back.
Yeah, and Collision, like we said at the start of the show, is definitely a different feeling than Dynamite. This is going to sound weird, but I want more people on it, right? Like, every week we've seen FTR versus somebody.
I see what you're saying.
Every week we've seen the same cast, which I understand, that's fine, because the opposite is what you get on Dynamite, where people just disappear for months at a time. But I was hoping to see a little more variety of some of the people there. So that being said, I can't wait for Saturday, because I think the Andrade Buddy Matthews ladder match is going to be insane. And then you've got Adam Cole and MJF taking on FTR, which I think will be great. On that match, do you think Strong causes MJF and Adam Cole to lose, and that's what ends up breaking the team up? So basically, they would have stayed together, but let's say Strong gets involved, and then neither one really turn on each other, but they have a disagreement because of Strong, and it becomes a thing. I'm just curious. I think he's going to be the linchpin in it somehow. Whether he's the one who says, I told you so, or he gets so obsessed and crazy about it that he causes an issue.
Yeah. And, someone turns around and Roderick Strong is standing there. Maybe MJF is laid out, and then Adam Cole takes the L. No, because then that would bring MJF and Adam Cole tighter. Maybe MJF is unconscious in the ring unconscious outside the ring, and they hit the mother trucker on the big rig on Adam Cole. Roderick comes out to save the day or what. A ref bump is involved. MJF is out. Roderick Strong comes in. There's some kind of shenanigans or something. Ref comes to. They lose the match. Now they're not champions. They're like, what did you do? But then that pushes, how would you book that? Because it seems like if Roderick Strong is involved against MJF or against FTR, they lose, and that would push Adam Cole and MJF together.
And it's probably a WWE way to do it. Maybe not. I could see Roderick Strong out there supporting whatever, trying to be a good friend. Somehow takes an inadvertent bump from MJF, whether it's they're outside the ring and FTR pulls Strong in the way, and they decks him, and Adam Cole sees MJF hit him. So now you've driven that wedge between them, and I think that's how you do it.
That's a good one.
You have Strong out because of something MJF did, and they're so good that it'll be one of those, did MJF do it on purpose or not? Or you can even do a backstage segment where they find Roderick Strong out, right? His neck brace ripped off, and he's screaming in pain, and you start planting that seed of doubt that it was MJF that attacked him. And hell, you could even do it, stretch that on for a while, and then you find out 2-3 weeks down the road that it wasn't him, it was FTR that dropped him, or Punk, right? It was Punk that dropped him just to help his buddies out. Like, they could do a couple things that would be pretty cool with it.
That'd be good, because then that would bring that back around for MJF and CM Punk to cross streams again. Wow, that would be fun.
Yeah, and you could set up CMFTR versus Strong, Cole, and Punk, or Strong, Cole, and MJF too. Like, you know, they have their friction. They find out it was Punk, and then now they're back together as a team. They could do some stuff with it that would be good, and that would be a good. Yeah. I think that would be a good storyline to put onto Collision, because then you got Adam Cole and MJF there, Roderick Strong. Yes, your world champion's not on your big show, but he hasn't been defending it or doing much with it anyway.
Right.
And I'm okay with, because Tony Khan never said this was a brand split. Nothing has ever been said about that. We as fans have started interpreting it that way, but he's never said that. So we can't say anything about people crossing over and going to other shows, because, hey, there was never anything that said they couldn't.
Yeah.
And I think having your champions show on both shows is fine.
Yeah.
But
wow.
I'm like you, though. I am curious what CM Punk's going to do about this world title thing.
It was an interesting little nugget. And then when Stark ran off with the title in the bag, and then they were talking a little bit later, and Tony goes, "I know what's in your bag," and he was like, "No, I just brought my Louis Vuitton." And then he's sitting here talking to CM Punk, "I know what's in your bag." Well, wait a minute. So did you give the bag back, or do you have it? Or like CM Punk didn't mention who has the bag now, so I'm walking around, "Where's the bag?
What's in the bag? What's in the bag?"
Man.
Yeah.
So do they come out with another? You know, I like the thought of having the international champion being sort of that pseudo Collision title. I don't necessarily want CM Punk to come rolling out with that AEW title to cause dissension with who's the valid champion or not, because this storyline has gone so away from CM Punk with MJF being the champion that it would, like, I don't think it would bring MJF down, because he's able to carry it. But this is
so how crazy would it be if CM Punk does pull out the title, and it's like mine up there, so it's the original black and gold, and here this has all been planned from the get-go. That's why MJF went with the brown and gold. Like, how crazy would that be? It's like, that's why he's got his own belt.
Yeah.
Like, oh wait, they thought this far in advance about this?
Wow.
I don't think that's the case, but it could be. Who knows?
Yeah, that would be a good way to get around it and be able to explain the rationalization behind the Triple B champion and the AEW champion, whatever they're going to call. One's the AEW champion, one's the world champion. Whatever.
They should call it Universal and World. Yeah.
Man.
But have you noticed that MJF's belt's not the Triple B anymore? It doesn't have the Burberry on it anymore. It's just this really nice brown leather now. I think the inside might be the Burberry, but when he first brought it out, the whole thing was. Yeah. And I was like, I don't know if I like it. Now that it's just brown leather, though, I'm like, ooh, that is sharp looking.
I really, really think they nailed that title. I like how it's big and shiny. Don't make it weird. So shiny. Yeah, I think that's a great looking title with that brown. I think it really pops. And not that the two-tone faceplate is really cool with the black too. So, I mean, you've got some good-looking titles. The tag team titles, I think, are terrific. I'm surprised they didn't roll out new ones just because they redesigned the international title from the All-Atlantic title. Seems like every episode the TNT title changes hands, so they make it a little bit different. Scorpio Sky sitting up in the cheap seats to see who's doing what to who. So he's back. I can't wait to see that guy fly. I hope they, push him to the top of the card. I think that would be, I think he's got the goods. So I'd like to see him get up and go. So there's so much going on.
Yeah, I think we're in this weird spot. There's a lot going on, yet it's all kind of murky right now. And it's fine. It's just like after any big AEW pay-per-view, you kind of get this, like, okay, let's readjust, and now we got new storylines going. And I feel like every time they have a pay-per-view, the Dynamite after, we're always like, what happened? And then like 2 or 3 weeks later, you're like, oh my God, it's so good. And I feel like it didn't happen after Forbidden Door, because I think that's a different pay-per-view. But I feel like Blood and Guts was like the conclusion of the big storyline. So this Wednesday, I watched it and I was just like, what's going on? Like, this is okay. I don't know how I'm into this. But I know for a fact in 2 or 3 weeks, I'm going to be like, oh my God, I can't wait to see, Pac and Orange Cassidy go at it. Or, Moxley's going to take on Penta. What? Let's go. Ambulance match, who knows? Because Penta's known to do some pretty brutal death match kind of stuff too. So it'd be, but yeah, it's AEW, and that's just how they roll. So I'm sure we'll get something. What are the Elite going to do? Because they're going to be at All In. So what are we going to build for them? Are we going to see Takeshita versus Omega maybe? Or I'm curious. There's got to be some big matches that they're going to announce. And I have a feeling that 79 or 78,000 they're sitting at is probably going to jump to quite a bit higher down the road here for sure.
Yeah, as soon as they start posting the champion, the matches, and then they're going to announce that the return of Jamie Hayter.
Yep.
And the rest of the seats will sell. Nick Aldis is from England. Does he somehow make his way on to the car? Is there enough time to, get him over with the crowd? Because, he's been with Impact so long. Yes, he was at the first pay-per-view against Cody Rhodes. Or not pay-per-view, but they're, the
original All In. Yeah.
So, nope, Nick Aldis isn't an unknown, obviously. He's been in the business for 20 years, multi-time world champion when it was, TNA, and two-time NWA champion. That would be a good get for AEW. Does he make his way onto the card? Now he's he's not a homegrown, but he's from England. That would definitely, be a good one. But like I said before, is there enough time for that, especially when you already have such a huge roster and you want to get as many people on the card? Then you're going to fly. Where do you think they're going to do All In if they're doing All Out in England?
All In's in England. All Out they've announced is in Chicago.
All Out, yeah. Chicago.
It'll be in Chicago.
Yeah.
So obviously Punk will be at All Out.
Yeah, something huge for CM Punk. Maybe, dude. Yeah. Wow.
Yep. Yeah. A lot of stuff coming on and getting ready to pop off for sure. You know who else I'm curious if they're going to try to get is I wonder if Mercedes Moné will be ready and make her debut over in All In. That would be cool. I wonder if Daniel Bryan's going to be ready with his broken arm. He should be ready by then, I hope. Actually, it's not that far away. It's, the end of August. So maybe he'll be ready to go by then. And then is he really going to take on Niles McGuinness? Because, he's made a couple comments, and you've heard him kind of McGuinness has hit back a couple times on commentary about, he's lucky he got hurt out of flattened him. I'm like, ooh, okay, what are we going to do? Or are we going to finally get Zack Sabre Jr. versus Bryan Danielson? That would be a good one, too.
Oh, my God. That would be awesome. Hopefully not for the TV title, but yeah, that would be.
Yeah. But again, then we're going to that Forbidden Door 2.0 thing again, so I don't know.
That's true, yeah. We keep driving it over to that way. Who's a credible wrestling threat for Daniel Bryan, or Bryan Danielson, sorry. And there's just I'm running
maybe
all the
Shibata. Have Danielson and Shibata for the pure title.
Wow.
That would be a good match.
That would be a
real good match.
Yeah,
that'd be a lot of fun. Man, yeah, there's so many things they can do and ways they can go with it. Heck, maybe we're going to get Danielson versus Orange Cassidy. You could set that up for the BCC best friend storyline. Yeah, who knows, man?
Yeah.
Obviously, they're going to build it up. They got a month, so we'll see more and more coming out about it, that's for sure.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what happens with Collision. They're going to button some stuff up, start pushing a little bit more. I'm really excited to hear or see what the first match, the first official match, this just officially announced this person against this person, or are they going to announce, hopefully they don't do another poker chip battle royal. Hopefully it's something a little bit different.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's
British flag on a pole match.
Tea and crumpets match. Man. Spot of tea match. It's going to be...
It's a bare knuckle fight match.
Woo! Yeah, so good luck to Jericho and Osprey. I think, it's not going to be the usual 5-star that we're used to. Not that Jericho can't do a moonsault here and there, but just the athleticism of Osprey in the spring in his legs is woo-wee. It's going to be up there with what we're going to see from Ricochet and Paul at SummerSlam. So
I love the idea of the Jericho Osprey. Every once in a while, Jericho, you could start showing his age a little. Mm-hmm. And Osprey is so high octane and so go. I'm very curious how this will work out. Is he going to blow up Jericho to where he's can't breathe, can't do anything, he's done? Or is Osprey, it'll be interesting. If this is truly the way they're going to go, I'm down. I want to see it. I'm ready to see that. Mm-hmm. I think it's going to be a good match, one way or another, for sure.
Shit. I'm just wondering if Osprey can wrestle at such a slow pace and not land as high, because I'm sure Jericho doesn't want to take some of those
Break a hip.
those high dragons and the full Nelson suplexes and stuff. So
he's not taking any. What was the one Omega took at Forbidden Door, where he just dropped one? Why can I not think of the name of it? The Tiger Driver. Tiger Driver 96. Yeah. I'm not seeing. Seeing Jericho taking that move.
Correct. You are correct, sir.
I don't think anybody should take that move.
Yeah.
But that was scary looking.
Man.
But awesome to catch up, man. Like, I'm glad we got to do this. So, we'll cut it about 45 minutes. I think that's good. I don't want us to just keep sitting here going, let's talk about. But,
man, well, I tell you what, everybody who's listening now who hasn't gone to see Thunder or hasn't gone to watch Thunder Rosa's show over on YouTube, go check it out. Tony is, he's working through some technical situations because it was new having four feeds at once. So shout out to Tony and his technical prowess. I'm sure he jumped a few steps. Thanks again to Thunder and everybody who's been there. The Fantasy Sports Corp, all the work that's being done on the back end for those guys, really appreciate it. And, of course, my tag team partner, Jay Tilley, doing some serious heavy lifting for us. Keep checking in with us, seeing what we're doing. Hit us up on all our socials. And, man, we will be here on Saturday live at the Fantasy Sports Corp. And we'll talk about some of our sponsors. And, dude, it's a good time to be a wrestling fan. And it's a good time to be in the man cave. And I hope everybody who's out there listening is doing all right and is digging what we're putting down, because this is a lot of fun.
Yep. And, you mentioned the socials, and somebody said, what socials? Well, I'm glad you asked. Follow us on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, Threads, I guess is the new one. Or is it Twitter? Is it X? Twex?
Could be
Twats?
Twex.
What's it called now? I don't know.
Wow.
Whoa.
Just Google No Shave Man Cave. Hit us up wherever.
So, follow us on Twitter or X, whatever it's called now. YouTube. Sorry, I'm still thinking about the Twitter X thing. All right, let me start this again. Rewind. All right. Hey, somebody asked where we can get those socials. Well, it's easy. You can follow No Shave Man Cave on Twitter, /X, YouTube, Rumble, TikTok, Threads, wherever you get your social media. Listen to the podcast wherever you get your podcast from. Apple, Spotify, Pandora, Amazon Music, all that good stuff. Please, please, please drop us a review, hit those 5 stars. If you're watching us on YouTube or Rumble, go ahead and click that subscribe button. Hit the little notifications. It's free. Doesn't cost you anything. And if you decide, I don't want to know these guys got new shows on, unsubscribe. But we'd appreciate the love and support. We know you're out there watching. We can see the statistics, so just go ahead and hit that subscribe button for us. I appreciate everybody and everything, and I'm going to hot tag it out for the closer from my man.
Bump and feed. Hey, Jay Tilley, great show as always. Man, all the work you're doing in the back end, I really appreciate it. All the love that we're getting from our fans and friends, and hell, even our pool guy. It's freaking awesome. So thank you so much for checking us out.
Can we not say the work I'm doing in the back end? That makes it weird.
So what had happened was, let's say my man's over in Gorilla producing some magic back there. So good stuff. Hey, to our brothers and sisters in arms, thank you so much for what you do. Keep doing you. And if anybody out there is dealing with any kind of stress or mental instability, that you need any kind of help, there is someone waiting and ready for you to give you that help. Dial 988. If you're still on active duty, get with someone in your unit, get with your chaplain, go to the hospital. Please don't do anything crazy. Someone loves you. We love you, and we want you back here. So until next time, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and we'll see you on the floor.
You've been listening to the No Shave Man Cave.
If it's pro wrestling, we're talking about it. Unless we see something shiny and wander off into the woods. If you hang around long enough, we'll eventually come back. We hope you've enjoyed the show. Fire off your comments and be sure to leave us a 5-star rating, and we'll be back soon. But in the meantime, hit us up on Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok at No Shave Men Cave. Y'all be cool, and we'll see you next time on the floor.